5, 6, 7, 8.
I guess that means we're ready to go. Miles,
Hi,
do I look
Mark.
do I look haggard to you this morning?
Mark, you're always a handsome man, but today, yes, a little tired.
I was out late and I went to a concert, which is something I never do, and I was
Mm.
singing at the top of my lungs, and I think I my voice has given out. What was the last concert that you went to?
Let's see. Peter, Paul, and Mary. I think Peter was still alive at that point.
Hmm.
Paul, not so sure. I don't think Paul was alive. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great concert.
So
How
you
about
just went
yourself?
you went to just see Mary? Then were they
It was
had
it
both
was low. You know what? I did notice it was a little lonely on stage. I'm not
uh
really sure what what did I pay for?
sure.
They were giving tickets for two-thirds off, so I should have known. Yeah. How about yourself?
Uh,
What did you end
I
up seeing,
apologize.
Mark?
I
What
I
did you
went.
end up
Oh,
seeing?
oh, who did I see? The George Michael Experience.
Hmm.
It's just a cover band that plays a lot of George Michael songs and Wham. I'm a big Whammer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was always in the camp that Andrew Ridgeley was a real talent of that band. And
So was
so
I.
they
Yeah.
did some great cover songs. So anyway, we are here not to talk about George Michael, although I could all day long.
Me too.
Hard Day, the greatest underrated song of all time. But we're here to talk about bubble wrap, believe it or not. And bubble wrap, Miles, has captured our imagination for years. And what do you like about bubble wrap? Anything in particular?
Well, the obvious is like popping the bubbles, but
Yes.
you know what? I mean, in a pinch, they're great as knee pads.
Yep.
They,
Yeah,
they're
it's
a
great to
great,
protect your body.
a great way to suffocate yourself if you
Uh-huh.
wrap your head around tightly enough.
That's one use. It's not the smart use, but it is a use. Well,
One time, you do it
I
one time.
you can do everything once. So yes, I agree. It's the popping. I found that more fun than the actual toy that was wrapped inside the bubble wrap. And
Hmm.
so as an adult, there really isn't anything more satisfying and relaxing than popping those little transparent circles filled with air.
Right.
So today on Pull My Leg, we're going to investigate the origin and the invention of this packaging material that has changed lives for the better, bubble wrap. Now, for those of you that are watching this podcast, you'll probably notice that our backgrounds are a little different. That's because we were working from a coffee shop. And what happened is we've built up such a following over time that it was very hard for us to record the podcast because of the fans and the chatter,
That's
right?
true. Yeah,
And
that's true.
signing a lot of autographs. And so now I'm coming to you from my home in East Orange, New Jersey. Miles, where are you coming to us from?
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right.
And
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 so
and immediately what I've noticed is your background is blurry. And I know
right.
that's a filter, but
Yeah.
your foreground is extraordinarily sharp.
Hmm.
I'm using the opposite filter where my face is blurry due to high quality and lack of quality Wi-Fi. But my background is extraordinarily sharp,
That
and I don't
bookshelf
understand.
is looking great.
Should I go way back there?
If you could, that'd be a lot more be a lot more
I'd,
fun for
I'd
all of
probably
us.
be funnier. And I also realize that we are much more relaxed in our home spaces because that being in a crowded coffee house like Lulu's Coffee and Bakehouse, where
That's
there's
right.
so many people going every day because their coffee is so friggin' delicious and their baked goods fresh right out of the oven.
Right.
Um, some of the loud talkers would kind
Yep.
of would
Yeah.
would would distract me.
So I'm Mark Manning. I, of course, had a career before podcasting. I co-host with Miles Harrison. We like to say it's that Manning to Harrison connection, and that's how we make that. That's a reference to, of course, the greatest sports team of all time, Miles.
Indianapolis Colts.
That's right. So what was your career before you got into podcasting to let the audience
Oh,
know?
a long career, but I am definitely a recovering politician. The reason why I
Hmm.
love doing this show with you, Mark, is because I actually like to make people happy
Hmm.
and not cry. I like to help people and not hurt them. And so this podcast kind of fills all those buckets for me.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
We're really, I feel like mending America's heart. with this
Mm.
podcast.
One
So
terrible episode at a time.
that's right. That's our slogan.
Yeah.
Well, today we have another terrible episode on tap. We have a historian of all things packaging,
Mm.
and she has a
Yeah.
special emphasis on the tactile side of it. She just has a feel for the subject. I'm pausing for laughter because that pun was so fantastic. She was born in Skagway, Alaska.
Mm.
She moved frequently as a child because her mother was a traveling duct tape saleswoman. I didn't know there was such a thing, but there is. And she never knew her father, but based on family reports, she wasn't missing much. She attended Vassar College, but like myself, couldn't tell you where it's located. No one can. I think it's in Vermont. Do you have any idea where Vassar is?
Uh, yeah.
Oh, perfect. She studied art history, which of course led her straight into the wildly lucrative world of packaging.
Wow.
And she founded a company called It's What's Inside That Matters. And she sold paper, packing peanuts, bubble wrap, sawdust, and for an ill advised period of time, highly flammable asbestos. It's soft, but not good for you. And
Mm.
she sold this to small businesses. And eventually, Bernice grew tired of the business side of things. So she packed her bags, another intentional pun that I need to
Love
work
it.
on.
I
Yeah,
love it. Keep coming.
that's right. And she devoted herself to studying the history of her lifelong love, which is packaging. So, Bernice Hargrove, tactile packaging historian, welcome to Pull My Leg.
5, 6, 7, 8.
So, where do we find you today, Bernice?
So I'm in the forest,
Oh,
actually.
lovely.
Are you? The forest where? That's pretty broad. Are you in the country? Are you in the United States of America?
Yeah, in the United States. So I'm in the forest in upstate New York, which is very fun,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel very secure,
Sure.
because security is really important to me,
Yeah.
as I think can totally imagine.
Yeah, because of your career choices. So we'll get to the bubble wrap questions in a second here, but tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you married? What was life like growing up in Alaska? Do you like show tunes?
So yes, it was cold in Alaska,
Sure.
and I'm not a big cold person, and it was also very dark in Alaska, and I'm not really a dark person.
Sure.
So the way I grew up was trying to find light within, and
Mm,
I really wore a lot of bright clothing,
yeah.
and it I realized that when I was little, unfortunately, my favorite tea set that I played with my dolls broke. And
Ooh.
I was so irate. I was like, there has to be a better way than to protect these things that are really important, like china or tea sets.
Yeah.
So then I started becoming obsessed with protection
Mm.
and, security and straps.
Right.
Led me to a lot of interesting career choices. But no, I am not married. I think that I'm too fearful of being tied down.
Well, you don't want to have your heart broken, and you can't wrap that with bubble wrap, you
No,
know.
Mm.
no. And
Is
it's a scary world out there.
is the
Yeah.
field of packaging and or specifically packaging historians pretty competitive?
You know, you'd be surprised. There is one competitor. He is my nemesis.
Mm.
I call
Ooh.
him Mr. P.
Mr.
And Mr.
P.
P stands for a lot of things. In our
Yeah.
world, it can be Mr. Packaging,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Pissant,
Ooh.
Mr. I don't, there's a lot of names I call him. He had the edge every time I was trying to do
Yeah.
something in business. He was just a little bit like a hair tape ahead of me. And my mom always told me, if you can't measure it with duct tape, what can you do? So
Mm.
I am so, he has just been blocking me, blocking me, blocking me. And I feel like finally I'm in a better mental space about it.
That's great.
But besides Mr. P and myself, it hasn't been super competitive.
That's right. That's right.
Mm. So let's get a little serious here, Bernice.
Okay.
So Mr. P
Mm,
is Mr. Packing Peanuts. When they came on board, yes, it was a new competitor, but was it also a threat? And how does that make you feel? And
mm.
what should we know about packing peanuts and how they're affecting our world?
I
A lot
just,
there.
they're an atrocity. They're an atrocity. I mean, if you think about the difference between packing peanuts,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or pine pine nuts. I don't know. They're all crazy. They're
All
made out of
nuts.
really interesting, weird material. And
Yeah.
when you open them up, they explode everywhere. It is an environmental disaster. If
They
you
do,
open
and can
something
be a little scary too.
very
Mhm.
startling, it
Yes.
could actually
Hmm.
be a health hazard as well. Not only is it a health hazard startling from heart attacks, it's also animals eat them,
Yeah.
kids eat them. I had to pull packing peanuts out of my dog's back of her mouth because she was so excited about them.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap. You know what you do see with bubble wrap? Joy.
A
The
lot of
joy.
joy.
Joy,
You're right.
joy,
Joy.
joy,
We
joy.
deliver joy safely.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, when
Eh,
you think about safety and safely, what is the safest, most economical way to package an item? Because I'd like to send Miles, who lives in another state, a burning campfire just to remind him of our youth. How would I be able to send that economically?
That is a tough one
Mm.
because you want to preserve the heat and
Hmm.
the warmth and the memories.
the
And
memories.
unfortunately, you can't really use the bubble wrap because it would melt.
And the
So
packing peanuts, forget it.
forget it, they would
Yeah.
burn away.
Right.
So I think that probably needs some next level technology that hasn't been invented yet, but I'm working on a prototype, which is you press a button and this metal globe. It's like the next level of bubble wrap, but it's made out of this really interesting material that Superman sometimes you
Yeah.
see in that
Yeah.
movie. You know,
Speaking of
I
Superman and metal globes, today's episode of Pull My Leg is sponsored by Phil's Premium Packaging Solutions. Phil doesn't just protect your valuables, he overprotects them. Every item is shipped with so much bubble wrap, you'll need a machete, a weekend, or two friends to open it up. Order a coffee mug, boom, it arrives in a box the size of a refrigerator, padded like Fort Knox. Grandma mailing you cookies? By the time you're able to cut through them, these cookies will be old enough to vote. At Phil's, they think that the box is worth far more than what's actually inside. So if you need to ship an Auntie Rita for her seventh wedding, a puppy to Papua New Guinea, or a child to Chihuahua, Mexico, call Phil's Premium Packaging for solutions. You remember their motto, right, Mark? Mother Teresa used to say it. It takes a village to raise a child and open a package shipped by Phil's Premium Packaging Solutions. That's Phil's, your go-to shop for packaging solutions in Walla Walla, Washington. Tell them you heard it here at Pull My Leg. Back to you, Mark.
That's awesome. And of course, Pull My Leg listeners get a significant discount,
mm,
which is 10% off the regular price of,
packaging.
Packaging,
oh,
Mark.
packaging. That's a good way to
Yes.
hide the actual cost. And where can we find, are you familiar with this product, Bernice?
Yes.
Where can we
Yes.
find them online? What's their website?
Phil
www,
is,
yeah,
oh, he's got it. Go ahead.
www.pullmyphil.com.
Pull my Phil.
.com. Okay.
Phil has been such a strong partner. He
Yeah.
has bought so much bubble wrap.
Yeah.
I honor the way Phil packages actually. So I
Sure.
love that he's a sponsor of
Yeah.
this. I
Now,
mean, everyone feels a little bit safer when they're wrapped in bubble wrap.
yeah, that's true. And now, Bernice, your job sounds, I don't want to say boring. How did you know the history of packaging was your calling?
So I started to share, and I don't know if you fully heard it, but when I was little and my
Hmm.
tea set broke, it
Mm.
was so devastating
Mm.
that I had this delicate tea set, and I wish I could have protected it. I
Yeah.
wish I was able to put it in something that wouldn't have had it break. So then I started to become obsessed. And for me, I'm always somebody who likes to be snug or tightly wrapped. When I was
Mm.
younger, I was swaddled until I was actually 12.
Hmm.
So it's just really restraining gives me comfort.
Yeah.
So I started to obsess about how can we actually do this in a way that doesn't really sound, restraining, straps. All of that stuff was very fascinating. My mother was in duct tape. She always said, if you can't strain it, you can't strap it up. What's the point? And I was just loved all of that. So then I became obsessed with how do we protect things And we were very secure. I mean, we duct taped everything in our house,
Yeah.
everything, including
It
the door.
it sounds like you could use some therapy. Is that possible,
Sure.
or was your mom pretty? Doesn't sound very normal, but who am I to judge, right? But that sounds crazy.
Bernice, you've
Fantastic.
had a lot of trauma in your life.
I
Hmm.
have. I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And with all that duct tape, pulling off little hairs from your arms and your legs
Yeah.
probably did not feel great.
That's the way that my mom taught me how to wax my legs. And I realized that wasn't, that's not the most efficient way to wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, that was a hard lesson.
It's not how I wax mine, I can tell you that.
That's true.
No.
And you
Yeah,
need to. He's quite the quite the hairy guy. You should see
Oh
him
yeah.
in a
I,
swimsuit.
I bring the hair to podcast.
That's
I
right.
put
that's
the I put the hair in podcast.
that's important.
Yeah.
It's important to have some more hair in podcasts.
So, Bernice, what I'd like to do is I'm going to put some time on the clock, and
Okay.
I'm going to give you 60 seconds to tell us everything we need to know about bubble wrap. What's important for us to know? What was a big moment that changed the industry? I'm just going to start the clock now, and we'll see how you do, and I'll let you know when the time is up.
By
Okay?
the way, Bernice, I love your glasses.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, where'd
Yeah.
you get those?
Um, Walmart,
Oh,
actually, and they are trifocals, so I can see close up, far away, and apparently something special on a computer.
Okay, we're
right.
at
Okay,
46
so
I
seconds.
think that yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
oh,
that's
right, so
okay.
bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about bubble wrap. It was invented in an interesting way in the medieval times,
Hmm.
and I don't want to bore you with like so much of that history,
That's already
but
happened.
it has evolved into what you see today. And we realized that the different plastics that we were making, we wanted to make them a little bit more environmentally friendly. And then we realized from the product testing and the play testing and the child testing, some bubbles are bigger than others, some need to be smaller. And we really wanted to find the best popping bubbles that's the safest, and that's what you have today. So we did a lot of research around bubble wrap.
That's all. I wish we had more time to talk more about that. But what I'm curious is about how do you get the air into those bubbles? And is there a technical term for the actual bubble
Oh,
itself?
and Danielle, speaking of the history, the medieval history, the origins of bubble wrap, is it true that those bubbles were initially plague boils?
Yes.
Hmm, I thought
And
so.
then we used it was in Ireland and
It's a
we
good way to
used a
contain
lot.
the disease.
It was.
Hmm,
And then we used a lot of leprechauns to test the different ways the bubbles could be from plague boils through other elements of water we tried. We have, like the Keebler elves sometimes
Hmm.
make cookies. We had leprechauns blowing bubbles. I mean, that's
makes
just what you did.
makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so then they started doing more and more of that, and now it's really hard to find a leprechaun who's willing to blow bubbles.
It
It's
is.
almost
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
It
It is.
is.
Who do you think are the top five most handsome leading men in Hollywood?
Wow.
Hmm.
You could start
Okay.
right here.
Okay, I think the first one has to be George Clooney,
Naturally.
Hmm, dreamy.
naturally. I
Yeah,
mean,
dreamy.
he's like a silver fox.
Yeah.
Um, I think uh I would say actually who has not aged very well? Pierce Brosnan has not aged very well.
You don't think so?
Uh,
So he
No.
he is not in your top five.
He is not in my
how
top
about
five.
the guy who played Gandalf? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You
yeah.
know, Mark,
He
Would you?
what I've noticed, Mark, is
Yeah.
nobody's mentioned us. It could
Well,
be because your question always says Hollywood,
yeah.
Hollywood, not
and
Right.
just
next
top
time we
five
have to
men.
say
It's
podcasts.
crazy because I ask everybody I meet that same question, and I really am fishing. I really do
You're
want them to
looking,
say Miles
me
and Mark.
too, me
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I need to remove the word Hollywood. I need to say who are the top five most handsome
On
men
this
that you can
podcast,
see right now in front of
right?
you.
On this podcast,
Oh,
Right.
yes. Okay,
So
well,
can we change that question? Who do you think are the top five most handsome men that you're able to right now, at this moment in time, actually see?
I would say Miles, Mark, and Mr. Picasso out the window.
Oh, you have a Picasso.
yes.
Nice. Now, we all know about the great bubble wrap fire of 1849 that almost destroyed the industry. And according to Rapopedia, when that bubble factory went up in smoke due to a mishap with a candle, of course, and a pug named Mr. Flubby,
Hmm.
What happened? Can you give us a little background on that? Like, why was a dog left alone with a burning candle?
He needed some time. He needed a timeout.
Yeah.
Sometimes when dogs are naughty, they just need a timeout.
Hmm.
Unfortunately for his timeout, he was not very happy about it. And you felt bad because you need to put him in a timeout, but you don't want him in the dark. So there was the
Well, they're
candle.
afraid of the dark.
They're afraid
Yeah.
of the dark. And
Yeah.
then he kicked the candle over because he was pouting. And
Yeah.
Mr. Poe he was able to get out of the factory, but then he ran even further because the amount of noise when the factory went up, it was like fireworks on
Oh,
the
I
4th
bet.
of July plus a graduation plus it was like pow, 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 all the bubbles
Uh-huh.
popping. So it was very shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so
You
glad
could
I
I,
wasn't
hear
around for
it, you
that.
could hear it, the city next, you could hear it like miles and miles and miles away. It was like, what is happening?
I
Yeah.
love that story.
Mhm.
You know, I know we talked about packing peanuts. I know it's a sensitive subject, but why do they taste funny? I mean, we know why they're chewy, but why do they taste funny? And related, I heard that sharks refuse to eat clowns because they taste funny. So, any thoughts on that?
I mean, the makeup alone,
Yeah.
I can't imagine would be like appealing. I mean, especially in some of those balls that they wear, like it would get caught in the shark's throat. Like, so yes, I totally understand that. I have not myself tried a clown, nor am I
Hmm.
really interested, but I can relate to why a shark wouldn't like one.
Yeah.
And packing peanuts, it's because they're made by the devil. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why
Right.
they taste
Well,
terrible.
I
I
get it.
guess we should all try eating a clown this week, and we have plans.
That's right.
Great.
I'm headed to
Sounds great.
McDonald's right after this. So, when I'm wrapping a gift, Bernice, how much bubble wrap is too much?
Never, never too
Oh,
much.
Never too much.
Never too much. A gift the size of, a can.
Okay.
I think you could use probably 500 yards. That might be like
ju-
okay.
just
500 yards.
enough, just
Just
enough. Yeah,
just a just a guesstimate.
minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The box is never too big. The bigger the box, the better.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yep.
UPS loves it. They call
Yeah.
me personally and thank me for giant boxes filled with cans, one can and 500 yards of bubble wrap. They're
Yeah.
like, "Thank you. Why haven't more people done this?"
That's right.
Bubble wrap is keeping the shipping industry
I
in
agree.
business.
You're right. And on that, along those same lines, what do you think is the most poorly designed body part?
Oh, I think about that quite often.
Hmm. Me too.
I feel like the most poorly designed body part is the middle left toe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Left side.
Like,
Yeah, agreed.
do
Agreed.
you really need it? I mean, is it really like designed for
You
stability?
don't need it. No, because weirdly, it throws off my balance. I had to have it removed so I could walk better.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
tried a downward dog and I'm over. I'm a toppled dog.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't need it.
I get it. What,
Right.
what is next for bubble wrap? Like, what's next?
Space,
Outer
Mm.
space?
outer space,
Not more space between the bubbles.
both.
Outer space. What are the plans for space?
We are aiming to wrap the moon. I think that would be a
Ooh,
really, it's too
exciting.
bright sometimes. So I think
Yes.
Right.
it needs to be wrapped. And plus, the more space X, space Y, space Z that's created, and the more we send journalists into space for no reason,
Hmm.
or the more women that just float and take selfies, we
Right.
have to wrap the moon because those rockets are going to run into the moon.
They have to,
Right.
it has to be
It has to
protected.
be wrapped.
Understood.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a global issue that we need to wrap the moon with bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And we also need more space between the bubbles. So when they are inevitably popped by dogs or children, it's louder.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need.
And
Okay.
also, it might be good for the tides in the ocean
Hmm.
because they get messed up by the moon, in my opinion. And to be able to have that blocked off, it would probably get rid of the gravitational
And
pull, I would think.
maybe it would fix hurricanes.
It would definitely
Maybe it
fix
would fix the
hurricanes.
temperature
Hmm.
of the
Right.
water
Right.
if the moon was wrapped. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
it's we're saving
But
humanity.
some would say that's a cash grab, right? For the bubble wrap companies.
I
Like that
mean,
would be to get that government contract to wrap the moon, be pretty lucrative.
we're we might be in some conversations that I can't or cannot confirm.
Well,
Okay.
good luck or not good luck,
That's
Bernice.
right. Now,
Sounds like you have a big future.
now,
Thank you.
Bernice and Miles, I am thinking of a former U.S. president. Who am I
Hmm.
thinking of?
Abraham Lincoln.
What's your
President
guess?
Taft. President Taft.
It's actually Taft. You're 2 for 2 at this game. I don't know how you do it. He's so good at guessing what I'm thinking of. That is
That's
correct,
amazing.
Miles. What are there a lot of ER visitations due to the mishandling of bubble wrap?
Fortunately, not as many as you might think,
Yeah.
because when someone does get injured, we immediately have a wrapping protocol. So one time, one of our floor workers cut off a finger.
Mm,
It was really confusing how that actually happened.
yeah.
Later we found out he had brought a knife to work and just cut it off just because. But when that happened,
Sometimes that's the explanation that makes the most sense. Just the
yes,
most
it's just
obvious. Brought a
obvious,
knife to
right?
work,
Like,
cut off my finger. Yeah.
yeah, that's absolutely. But we have a protocol. If that happens, it's called bubble up, and immediately you are wrapped in bubble wrap,
Right.
blood everywhere. We contain it
Yeah.
until it grows back,
Yeah.
and that's worked.
Yeah. Okay. But it's rare. ER visits are pretty rare.
They're rare. We really treat a lot of stuff with bubble wrap.
Yeah. So we're reaching the end of our time together, Bernice, but I was hoping you could treat our audience. Now, I know at Vassar, by the way, what state is Vassar in? We've been trying to figure that out. You
All
went to
of them.
school there for 4 years.
Oh, it
It's in
is.
all states.
There's a little
There's a little
Vassar in
Vassar
all of them.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So a lot of students at Vassar join singing groups like choirs and a cappella groups, and you were brave enough to start a rapping club. And
Yes.
you went by the name of B Groove, a
Hmm.
play on your name, right? So I was hoping you could drop some verses on us about bubble wrap. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but is there a way that you could share a bubble wrap rap with us right now, just to review what we
Uh,
talked about, or wherever you'd like to go
sure.
with that?
Do you want to give me a beat?
Do I want to give you? Do you need any time to think about this, or are you just ready to go?
I'm
Just
ready to
ready to
go.
go.
Okay, I'm worried that my beat might be a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna telepathically send you a
And
beat.
while you're doing it, I'll harmonize.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
perfect.
Okay, so this is a bubble rap by B Groove.
I'm a bubble rap and I like to rap. I rap and I rap and I rap and I rap. 500 might seem too long, too may be too much. But you rap and you rap and you rap and you pop, 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 pop.
Wow.
That's how you wrap it,
That
Mic
is
y'all.
drop.
solid. That is solid.
Bernice,
I'm
that
gonna do
is
the remix of
wonderful.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you. So finally, B Groove. Am I allowed to call you that?
Sure.
Okay, great. Can bubble wrap be used even after you've popped all the bubbles? And then the follow-up question is, what if I accidentally consume, say, 4 pounds of already popped bubble wrap? I get
Well,
snacky.
um, what happens if it turns into a slip and slide? It's a perfect use for it.
Oh,
Lather it with soap,
I was hoping you'd say
lay it
that.
on the lawn, and just whoosh, it becomes extra slick.
oh my gosh.
So when you eat that, it slides through your intestines. So you just have to make sure that when you are using the bathroom after you've eaten that much bubble wrap,
Mhm.
that your plumbing can handle the slip and slide
Yep.
effects.
Noted. That'd be a fun amusement park on the moon to be able to
Hmm.
just wet that whole bubble wrap and just slide over and over again.
That's the dream.
Yeah, man.
That's the dream.
I like that you see the future and it's bright.
Bernice, it's been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much for telling us about the origins and the future of bubble wrap.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
We get it.
Mark, one of my favorite parts of this show is where we deep into our mailbag and get questions from all of our fans. One or two lucky fans
That's
get
right.
to ask us questions. And you know what? It keeps us in touch with the community. So why
right.
don't you go ahead and start with yours, and then
Sure.
I will open mine.
Sure. I pulled this out of the mailbag. This is from a man named Dave Chugman out of Tempe, Arizona. And his question, it's kind of long, so hang with me.
Yeah, okay.
He says, Miles, I read your book because you're an author, Diamonds and Gold, Romance Isn't Dead.
One of my
in
favorites.
And in it, you talk about how the engagement ring is an outdated construct. You called it, and this is a quote from your book, a relic from the patriarchy and a corrective tracer of antipothery, end quote. Dave goes on to
Mm.
say, I never understood what that meant. And to be honest, your book was confusing with lots of made up words. Regardless, I want to propose to my girlfriend. If
Yeah.
not a ring, what should I give her as a token of my desire to be with her forever?
Mm.
Signed, Dave. Now, let me first of all say that, Dave, you need to tighten up the question next time. I mean, that was a lot of rising action, I would say. So here's the important part, though, Miles. Other than a ring, what should Dave offer to his bride to be as a token of his eternal love?
Well, first off, congratulations and mazel tov, Dave,
Yes.
for reading that entire book. That was on page 187.
Mm,
But congratulations on your impending nuptials. So the ring is outdated. I agree.
yeah.
And I would always begin with a heartfelt high five.
High
Second,
five. Okay. Do you
heartfelt
bend
high
down on
five.
one knee and then just ask her to stick her hand
You
out
bet.
and then
Right,
flip it over and
right.
just high five it? Okay.
Right. In southern Italy, what they like to do is they bend down on one knee and then jump up
Yeah.
and clap. Right.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's catching on in some places, maybe in the lower states here.
Yes.
But this is the age of the amphibian, and in the Baltic states, what they like to do is give salamanders. And what better way of saying our love is eternal
Hmm.
than a salamander that can regrow its appendages.
Yeah, you're right.
So Dave, go with the salamander, high five,
Yeah.
and buena suerte on your marriage.
Buena suerte to you,
Yeah.
mi
Mhm.
amigo. Okay. So do you have a letter for me, Miles?
Mark, let me get this
Maybe
out
not. You
here.
get a lot more mail than I do. I can tell you
Well,
that.
all right. Dear pull my leg guys, I'm gluten intolerant, like many of us,
Mm,
but
yes.
my fiance is Italian and only knows how to make lasagna.
Oof.
Mark, how do I tell her that her pasta is twisting and turning my insides into linguine?
Ooh.
Signed, Chef Boyardee, I'm dying inside.
That is a challenge.
Oof.
Obviously, you're deeply in love.
Yeah.
You don't want to hurt her feelings. You enjoy the fact that she cooks and she bakes. But if she's relying on pasta, heavy cheese, that is no bueno for tu estomago. I know that was Spanish, but Italian Spanish, they're basically the same language, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say as gently as you can, honey, I would love to say cheese to your lasagna, but my stomach says no way. And if she doesn't get that pun, just say, girl, I just can't handle it.
Well, I
It's too
mean,
hard on my stomach.
you're, as I remember, you're allergic to gluten,
I
you're
am
allergic to
highly.
dairy, you're allergic to good conversation.
Hmm.
These are all things that you're pretty sensitive to. So,
I'm also sometimes oxygen gives me hives.
Chef Boyardee,
Yeah.
good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to
Chef,
you.
yeah,
And
good
thank
luck.
you for your letters.
Yeah.
So, Miles, it's time for the truth bomb about bubble wrap. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Invented in 1957 in Hawthorne, New Jersey, bubble wrap was not created for packaging at first. The two inventors, Alfred Fielding and Mark Chavon, were trying to invent a new type of textured wallpaper by sealing two shower curtains together with trapped air bubbles. I mean,
Oh
visually
my
think about how
gosh. No,
ridiculous that sounds. So, that wallpaper idea did not catch on, shockingly. In
really?
1960, they founded Sealed Air Corporation.
Mhm.
IBM became their first major customer using bubble wrap to protect their 1401 computers during shipping. And that single pivot transformed bubble wrap into the packaging staple we know today. Interesting tidbit, in 2015, Sealed Air introduced a non-poppable version for businesses. So that way it saves space and cost, and it triggered outrage among bubble wrap purists. We get mad about the weirdest things. And then NASA has used it to protect spacecraft instruments. And of course, that satisfying pop is just the sound of air escaping through a burst layer of plastic film. And now you
I
know the truth.
I have a feeling they tried to patent and trademark that sound, that popping sound,
Right.
because that's just how we are. Human beings are terrific, aren't they?
I'm a bubble wrap and I like to rap. I rap and I rap and I rap and I rap. 500 might seem too long, too may be too much. But you rap and you rap and you rap and you pop, 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 pop.
I want to thank Danielle, our good friend, for coming on as Bernice Hargrove. Maybe we'll see her again in the future as somebody else. You never know. I also want to thank Lulu's Coffee and Bakehouse. Even though we're not there today, that's where Miles and I still go on the north side of Indianapolis, 2292 West 86th Street, to brainstorm and hang out. Because as much as Miles and I love to be on a Zoom together, we also love to see each other in person. That's what friends do. And Miles, what do we have coming up next time on Pull My Leg?
Well, I'm excited to share this with you, Mark. Mark, you love a good ventriloquist and dummy routine,
Yes,
don't you?
I
Yes.
love dummies.
Yes. Well, so next week is all about ventriloquism. We'll we'll learn how this respected art form has been around for a lot longer than we actually knew. Ventriloquism has shared the stage of some of history's most greatest performers, like Beethoven. But did you know his little friend Ricky? There's even evidence that ventriloquism was popular with the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. One message in King Tut's pyramid said, "Not the mummy, the mummy." So that's all for you next week, Mark.
I cannot wait to hear more about that. Well, thanks to everyone for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, to Pull My Leg. And remember, 1 star plus 2 moons equals 3 ways to say you're sorry. We will see you next time.